Hello, I'm Yukta Karkera, a master's student graduating from the Human-Computer Interaction program at Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis. Today, I'm presenting on behalf of my co-authors, Barsa Tandukar, Sowmya, Chandra, and Aqueasha Martin-Hammond, our paper, Building Community Capacity, Exploring Voice Assistance to Support Older Adults in an Independent Living Community. The increasing popularity of voice assistants among older adults has led to their integration into independent living communities, such as senior apartments and retirement communities, to support daily tasks and reduce social isolation. However, studies focusing on individual voice assistant use may not capture the full potential of voice assistants in group settings. Research has shown that users' needs and expectations for voice assistants change in community contexts, and there is a need to explore potential voice assistant use in community settings to support participation and a sense of community among older adults. Additionally, challenges related to older adults' adoption and acceptance of voice assistant technologies and sustaining interest over time must be addressed for successful integration into communities. In this study, we explore how voice assistant technologies can be used to support older adults' participation in an independent living community by leveraging existing community assets and building new capacities. We use Chaskin's framework of community capacity building, a concept aimed at developing sustainable community-based initiatives in line with community priorities to explore opportunities for voice assistants to extend existing community assets and identify new capacities within an independent living community. Through our research, we offer insights into the existing community capacities within the independent living community, potential scenarios of use of voice assistants to support community environment, and considerations for capacity building to support community-level diffusion and sustainability. Based on our findings, we provide voice assistant application design guidelines and strategies to support better community-level integration efforts. We conducted the study in 2 phases with residents of a multi-site life plan community that were interested in integrating voice assistance into the environment. First, we held 4 virtual community forums. The forums included members from the community, technical staff, leadership who acted as an ally to the residents, and the research team. 38 residents attended the forums. Following the forums, we interviewed 24 residents individually. Both forums and interviews explored residents' interests or concerns about integrating voice assistant technologies in the community and aimed to gather residents' perspective on how voice assistant technologies could support their daily activities as independent residents. However, in interviews, we explored more deeply common challenges and opportunities for using voice assistants in the community, ideas on how voice assistants might support the community, and considerations for integrating at the community level. All participants were 65 years of age or older with a diverse range of abilities. All participants are familiar and use different voice technologies. We found that the residents of the community had a strong sense of community and were actively involved in social activities, including serving on civic committees, regular participation in community activities, coordinating and managing social events, and serving on the residential council. We have discussed this in the paper and envisioned how voice tech assistants could build upon those. Participants identified 3 areas where they felt voice technologies could support the community: improving information delivery and access, enhancing existing services, and facilitating connections. They felt that utilizing voice assistants could make accessing information within the community more convenient and inclusive, reduce the amount of effort needed to gather and manage information, and lessen some of the challenges they experience coordinating among the different information sources provided by the community. They also expressed that voice assistants could potentially provide more accessible ways for residents to access community information. Participants expressed interest in using voice assistants to enhance existing service within the community, such as signing up for trips to the grocery store or making maintenance requests. Participants also discussed opportunities for voice assistants and other voice technologies to help facilitate connection between people and groups in the community. For example, finding information about other people in the community or helping them identify relevant social events. Therefore, more suggestions focus on how voice technologies could be leveraged to enhance the existing capacities in the community, supporting access to information and resources, and extending existing capacities to support community building. In addition to potential communal use cases, participants also discussed potential barriers to community integration. One significant barrier participants discussed was sustainable use of voice assistance technologies in the community. They discuss potential challenges and potential strategies for the community and organization to support residents in adopting voice technologies, such as leveraging the collective knowledge of the community and engaging community members in the integration process. Our study revealed 3 communal use cases for voice assistants to support older adults in an independent living community environment: improving communal information access delivery, enhancing community services, and facilitating community connection. Today, I will discuss one example of how existing and future voice-based interaction might support these use cases. However, we encourage you to reference the paper where we provide several example use cases that might leverage existing and future voice assistant capabilities. The participants shared that they wanted voice assistant to support them in connecting with other residents by making the process easier. Therefore, most discussion revolved around creating customized voice assistant applications that leverage internal data or tied to existing systems to provide information and assistance more conveniently and efficiently. With customization and development, most commercial voice assistant applications can already provide some support through simple information and transactional interaction that return predetermined information. For example, if a resident wanted to look up a contact information for another resident, a customized application that leverages community information could provide that. In this first case, a resident asked the voice assistant for another resident, work reference, contact information, and the agent returns words, apartment number, phone number, or an email. The assistant could even provide some follow-up support. For example, to hear more about work. In this use case, the agent returns words, profile information showing that they are from the city and like gardening. Participants also discussed some enhanced voice assistant capabilities that are not widely available. In the second case, the agent is able to do more reasoning, allowing more natural interaction compared to the commands and processing data to find similarities between the user and others. For example, the agent suggests that the user meet someone new and then find others with overlapping interests to coordinate a dinner date. Using the use cases, we highlight several voice assistant design recommendations that might serve communal needs. Participants discuss voice assistant interactions that might support community level interactions, such as proactive engagement to motivate and support active community participation, and including reasoning capabilities that can be leveraged to learn about user interests to provide personalized recommendations. We also advocate for including communities as partners in the voice assistant design process. Through our study is formative, we found that engaging community members directly enabled us to identify several essential use cases which prior work notes can be a barrier for adoption among older adults. This process also helped to uncover what members of the community value, suggesting an emphasis on community capacity building when approaching the integration of voice assistant technology at the community level could also support inclusion by increasing access to the community assets and help facilitate and improve community connection. Learning about voice assistants and what they can do has been identified as a significant barrier to adoption among different user groups, especially older adults. Our participants expressed similar concerns for integrating voice assistant at the community level, suggesting that for integration to be successful, specific emphasis would need to be placed on sustainability. Based on our findings, we additionally propose a model for approaching voice assistant integration in the community. Currently, many integration efforts are focused on ad hoc approaches that emphasizes device integration. While these approaches can be useful for integrating in individual homes, it limits opportunities to take the advantage of community assets available in community environments. For example, one community member may be willing to provide installation help to others, but other members that may need the help may not be aware. Therefore, we propose a model that leverages the social environment within the community and centers them in the design process. The goal is to create spaces such as interest and learning groups that could help more residents learn about voice assistant technologies. We suggest that leveraging the expertise of others in near proximity, as defined by Bonto, could also benefit the adoption of voice assistants in community settings. Our study examined opportunities for voice assistants to understand what older adults viewed as potential benefits and barriers of integrating voice assistant technologies at the community level, potential communal use cases they value, and factors that might impact community integration. Thank you for your time. We would like to thank our partnering organization and participants for providing their insight.